Every financial life begins with a single personal decision. What we earn, what we spend, what we save. It feels intimate, isolated, a private calculus of choices and consequences. But this is where empires are built. Not with sudden windfalls, but with systems. A budget is a map for your priorities. An emergency fund is a shield against chaos. Managing debt isn't just math, it's reclaiming your future income. This is the language of personal sovereignty. It's understanding that a credit score is more than a number. It's your financial reputation built one payment at a time. And then comes the most powerful force in the universe. That doesn't come from a lab, but from a simple principle: compound interest. It's not just earning a return. It's earning a return on your returns. It turns time from an enemy into your greatest ally. It's the reason starting early isn't just advice, it's alchemy. This is how ordinary habits are transformed into extraordinary futures. The ultimate goal of this personal architecture isn't wealth for its own sake. It's options, it's security. It's the quiet confidence that lets you sleep soundly while the world turns outside your window. But to truly understand that confidence, we must step outside. We must see the weather that surrounds our house. Because your personal economy doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists inside a vastly larger, pulsating system. This is the world of macroeconomics. It's the sum of every transaction, every loan, every trade on the planet. It's the weather, and whether you feel its warmth or its storm depends on your preparedness. At its heart are the great institutions, central banks. They are the stewards of the currency, using interest rates as a thermostat for the entire economy. Raise rates to cool inflation, lower them to spur growth. Their decisions ripple outward instantly, moving global markets, determining bond yields, and shifting the value of the very money in your account.
Sound begins with the tick of a metronome. A low, almost sub-audible hum, the base interest rate fades in. As the rate rises, the hum intensifies in pitch, and the metronome speeds up. The sound of a modern printer money creation is layered over the heavy, mechanical thuds of a 20th century printing press. Inflation, the same purchasing sound. Cash register chime scanner repeats. With each repetition, it becomes slightly quieter, more distorted, as if the value of the sound itself is eroding. Beneath it, the murmur of a marketplace grows more anxious, a chaotic symphony. The distinct open outcry yells of 1980s traders are sampled, pitch shifted, and woven into a frenetic, rhythmic bed. This is abruptly cut and replaced by the sterile, high-frequency ping of algorithmic trades and the soft whir of server farms, the sound of modern finance. Global supply chains. We follow a single product. The scene starts with the sound of mining drills rocks. It moves to the rhythmic clangs of a steel mill, then the precise whir of an automated assembly line. The deep horn of a container ship blares, its engine fading across oceans. Finally, the rustle of unpacking in a quiet home. The macro sounds dissolve into micro sounds. The click of a thermostat turned down, energy consumption. The tap of a keyboard during a job search, unemployment. The tense silence in a room before a salary negotiation, wage growth. The narrator concludes, macroeconomics is not an abstraction. It is the sum of a billion daily sounds. It is the weather created by every breath.
We measure this weather. GDP is the total output. The jobs report is its heartbeat. Inflation is the gradual, often silent erosion of purchasing power, where the loaf of bread costs a little more each year. These aren't just headlines. They are the conditions in which businesses hire, factories produce, and you negotiate your salary. This system doesn't move in a straight line. It breathes in cycles of expansion and contraction.
Do you hear that? The hum. It's always there. Beneath the news alerts, behind the screen glow, under the floorboards of your daily life. It is the sound of the world. Transacting. A trillion invisible hands passing promises, assets, digits, dreams. It is the sound of the system, and tonight you will walk through its cathedral. We begin in the deep. The foundation. Listen to the thud, not of a heart, but of an earth mover. The extraction. The first layer is always physical. It is iron ore being carved from rock, a continent away. It is wheat swaying in a silent, algorithmic wind, priced in Chicago before it's even sown in Ukraine. It is a tanker, longer than the skyline, groaning across an ocean with the liquefied sunlight of a forgotten age. This is the real, the tangible weight upon which every promise is built. It is slow. It is heavy. It has a rhythm you can set a civilization's clock by. Now, hear the structure rise upon it, the clang of the mill, the hiss of the assembly line, the hum of the server farm. This is the second layer, transformation. The ore becomes steel. The steel becomes a girder. The silicon becomes a logic gate. Here, human effort is multiplied by machine, and value is baked into form. This is the sound of productivity, of GDP being forged link by link. It is a more frantic rhythm than the foundation. It accelerates, it slows, it stutters. It is the pulse of the business cycle, and its beat tells stories of booms and busts. But above this orchestra of things, a new sound emerges, a sound of pure abstraction, the whisper. This is the layer of finance. It is not the sound of money being printed. That's a theatrical echo. It is the sound of money being conjured. It is the soft tap of a keyboard that approves a $10 million loan, creating something from nothing but faith and a signature. It is the silent, light-speed flight of a bond issuance from one server to another, a ghost of future productivity sold today. It is the eerie, melodic ping of an algorithmic trade, 1,000,000 times a second. A song only machines can sing to one another in a key called liquidity. And presiding over this vast, echoing space is the bell. A single, profound, authoritative tone. It does not ring often, but when it does, every other sound adjusts its pitch. This is the central bank, the keeper of the price of time itself, the interest rate. When the bell tolls lower, you can hear the whisper of finance grow louder, bolder, rushing into new ventures. When it tolls higher, a great mechanical inhalation happens. The whispers hush. The machines of production might slow their hum. The bell commands the weather in the cathedral. Now, step into the nave. This is the marketplace. And here the sound becomes a psychic phenomenon. It is the roar, but it is not a roar of crowds. It is the roar of sentiment, of fear and greed given mathematical form. It is the crashing wave of a bull run, a cacophony of climbing ticks, a frenzied, joyous chorus of green arrows. And it is the stomach-dropping silence that follows, punctuated by the sharp, percussive crack of a margin call.
There you go, sweetie.
This sound is a feedback loop.
Now it's
It hears
saving your
itself,
savings.
believes its own echo, and amplifies it into mania or despair. This is where the human heart is translated into volatile data. So, where are you in this symphony? You are in the click of your card at the terminal. That is not a spent dollar. That is a data point fed into the roar. the click of your mouse to buy a single share of an ETF. That is not just an investment. That is your voice joining the algorithmic whisper, adding your micro-liquidity to the global pool. The silent loading of a job application page. That is you, offering your human productivity to the humming layer of transformation. Your mortgage rate? That is the distant echo of the bell, filtered down through 1,000 financial pipes, landing in your kitchen.